Hi everyone. So I have basically prepped one of my inserts. So this is a B6 size for my traveler's notebook. My Mr. Darcy, Chic Sparrow Mr. Darcy. Let me show you this beautiful TN once again. So yeah, so this is basically, it was one of the inserts that I ordered from the Chelsea Paper Co, and I have shared with you that I didn't like the quality of the sides, and also the color is not the one that I ordered. So I'm waiting for a replacement, but meanwhile I decided the paper is good, so why don't I start using, because you know that was the whole point of it. So I have applied two layers. I have applied 2 layers of gesso, and mine is the Pabio, I think. I hope the lighting is still okay because it started raining and so it's a little bit grey outside, but this is my gesso that I use. I can't say to you that I love it, because it's just a little bit, how shall I say, it dries super quick and it has this like textured effect. I wonder if there is a more smooth gesso, because I don't know whether I could actually, let me just grab this. I haven't tried sketching on gesso with this pen because I love Pilot G-Tech C4. I use it for everything, but I just don't know whether that will be the background it will be okay for. So anyways, I have done that, and I've gone 2 layers because although it's quite textured and it feels quite heavyweight, it's not opaque, so that's something to know. And so I still can get the background through this. So what I may do, I think I'll just probably leave it like that. So then after I've done that and I left it overnight to dry, it kind of was not closing properly, so to do that I just use my Penco large clip, and that helps me with keeping it sort of in a good shape. So after that it basically doesn't open up more than this, and it's good. So I'm going to go ahead and do a bit of a speed up video and decorate this insert. This is my first time decorating a insert cover, so here I'm using Schmincke Horadam watercolors, and to be honest with you, it's a little bit of a waste, I think, to use that high quality watercolors because the art is great and you can just use something a little bit more cheap. I think in future I'll probably use my Prima Confections watercolors for this type of thing. So yeah, and I'm just kind of mixing a few colors. So I used the scarlet over there, and let me just double check. I think one of the pinks was the magenta and also permanent carmine. And then I went ahead and used some transparent orange, which is beautiful orange, and also a little bit of the chromium orange hue. So that kind of on the left side orange, that's the chromium orange hue, which is the lighter color, and here I'm going in with the transparent orange, which is a very vivid, beautiful orange. It's probably one of my favorite oranges from Schmincke. So yeah, and I'm just kind of trying to get an interesting color combination here, and just mostly doing these kind of swatches just on the lower half of the page. So essentially I'm just trying to connect the watercolors and let them flow into one another, and that gives you that beautiful sort of effect, that blooming effect of a watercolor. Okay, so I just went ahead and used my heat gun and kind of made sure I really dry the watercolor properly, but I have a feeling that it still might be a little bit damp, and so I'm going to leave it to dry and then see what I can do with it, maybe the next day or something like that, because the weather is really turning out quite bad and I don't think I'll be able to film later on. So it's really pouring down with rain outside. Essentially what I want to create is this kind of like colorful background, which could be interpreted as floral, and then I might go in and either draw some flowers or some fashion girls, but I really want to use this pen, and I'm slightly scared to ruin this, what I have, because I have a feeling that they might not sit very well and transfer from Gesso, so I might just do a little test run before I commit. But I do like how this looks, and I mean, it's so much better. It has so much more character than it was before. So to me that's a very neat kind of looking cover. And to be honest with you, something I realized is that there is no point for hunting for a very good insert cover, because really you just create one yourself. I've done it because it was my first TN and my new experience on it, but as I have carried on with these inserts, I have realized something, that it really is, you should just do it yourself basically. So I think what I also might do is just grab one of my let me just see, one of my washies. So I think I might go for something like this. Yeah, this color works really well. This or the pink. I haven't decided yet, so one of the two. So I'll run it along the spine and just tuck it in at the back and then just cut it. So that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, let's see how I get on with this cover, but I like it already as it is. So I decided to do a little experiment and test out a few pens to see which one would be better fit for writing on gesso. So this first one is the Faber-Castell and the size S. So I don't have the XS anymore, it's the finer tip, but I don't like how it feels on gesso in general. I don't like how it writes okay and there's no problem with it, but when I illustrate my fashion illustration, I just don't like using these. Something, the way that it feels, I don't know exactly what it is. Here's my favorite pen, and the concern I had about it is that it could potentially transfer. So this is the Pilot G-Tech C4, and then finally I have the Micron, which is the 01 size. I've got it over here, and it felt very good, it felt very smooth. I wish I would be able to get a thinner line. Now I do have the 005, which is the finest line, I believe. However, the Micron tips, the fine liners, so especially the 005 is very, very fragile, and so it is, even on smooth paper, it kind of wears very quickly. So I wouldn't even, you know, I wouldn't even dare putting it on gesso, because obviously it's got texture, so that would probably ruin the tip in just one illustration. I probably I think that would be the case. And so the only one I was struggling with was the Pilot G-Tech. As you can see, writing wasn't great because it kind of skips a little bit. Also in the illustration it does, but I don't mind it so much. However, I kind of let it dry, and then on top I went with a heat gun just to kind of dry it out some more, and then after that I decided to do the finger print, and these two didn't come off. However, this one did, and I tried a few minutes later and it still came off. So let's try now. I can't see anything coming off now, but yeah, this one came off. So I haven't done it on the necklace and it just came off. So it's going to transfer this pen basically. So this ink is not, I wouldn't recommend it on gesso unless you're doing it like inside a sketchbook and you don't mind. I mean, I tried to press really hard to see if it's going to print on the other side. Nothing transfers, so that's okay. But obviously if you're going to be touching your insert, then you are going to be transferring that very easily. And as a matter of fact, even the watercolor transfers as well. So I don't know whether that's the quality of the gesso that does it or whether that would be the case with any gesso. So let me know if you do know more about gesso than I do. I'm just kind of learning at the moment. So yeah, so I think I will use the Micron 01 to illustrate and to make sure it's sort of permanent. It writes beautifully. Like, I didn't really care how the Faber-Castell wrote. I didn't care for the feel of it. However, the Micron write really beautifully. So yeah, I think that's what I will do. And that will be the next part.